everyone. Please gather around. Also, I have a request. If we have any youth leaders in the room who are leading, yeah, sorry. If we have any youth leaders in the group in the room who are leading any regional IGF or any IGF forum in their country or in their city, I would like them to sit in the front row, please. And the participants can sit behind the rows in these chairs. So please gather around. We will just begin in a minute. Thank you. Can we present the PPT slides? So, can we start? Yeah, okay. Um, uh, so, Hi everyone, welcome back, and I hope you all are having a good time. So, as I requested before, if we have any youth leaders in the group who are leading any of the youth initiatives in their region, I would request them to sit in the front and be the part of the conversation. Do we have anyone in the room? Okay, we have Elia. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Do we have? Oh, Kenneth. Kenneth is also here. Yes. Hi, Kenneth. Thank you so much. Yeah. So now, guys, we will begin with the session. Okay. So now we will begin with our next session, which is the APAC Youth Leaders Dialogue, where we have youth leaders from the APAC region here who have joined us. APAC Youth Leaders Dialogue aims to facilitate a consistent conversation among the youth community in the region to keep the younger generation in the community informed about the internet governance discourse that is going on in the region. We have six speakers today. We have Nurul, who have joined us remotely from. Can we have the Zoom screen, please? Yeah. We have Nurul Kabir, who has joined us from Bangladesh remotely. Then we have Felicia from yIGF, who has also joined us remotely. We have Boris from. We have Boris from Dynamic Teen Coalition, who is also a remote speaker. And for our on-site speakers, we have Ahita from India via IGF, Ananda Gautam from Nepal via IGF, and Vi Ting Hung, a youth leader from Taiwan. Yeah. So for our online moderator, we have Bea with us. So in today's interconnected world, safeguarding the rights and protection of youth is paramount. From cyberbullying to exploitation, young individuals face various digital threats. Our discussion will be rooted in children's digital right, ensuring every child's safety and rights are protected in the digital age. Um, can we have the presentation on the screen? Yeah, thank you. So, yeah. And if you will see the last bullet point, we have mentioned about the 3-year yIGF blueprint, which is a document that was started by the yIGF steering committee. It is to get to know what our goals are as youth and what changes we want to see in the IG space. After the panel discussion, we will have an open floor where Luke will give you more information about about the blueprint, and we will all share our insights for that. So now to start with the session, we would like to start with our guest speaker, Kabir, to introduce us on our topic, championing youth rights, safety and well-being, and by also briefly showcasing relevant data and examples from his research and work at TDHNL Bangladesh. Can we have the Zoom screen? Yes. Hi Nurul, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Nurul, we can hear you. Can we pin Nurul on the screen?
Yes. Just I'm sharing my screen. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my presentation on championing youth rights, safety, and well-being. I am Nurul Kobir, working as project manager under Superset project in Tedasums, Netherlands, Bangladesh country office. As per UNCRC, children have the right to express their views, and this has been reflected through online and offline. Nowadays, children and youth are more immersed in the online and online world every day. Roughly 1 in 3 internet users globally are the under age of 18. As per the voice research conducted under the Down to Zero Alliance shows that the children spend 4.8 hours per day on social media. As this is the scenario, we get this positive and the negative experiences from these digital environments. As we more know on the positive environment, we are more conscious about the negative risks of the digital environments, which is mental health issues, as they are more spend more times on this online digital platform. They can be addicted, isolated, anxiety, mood disorders. Cyberbullying and harassment, one of the four negative risks, grooming, sexual abuse and exploitation, and the misuse of the information they share online. This is the considering these harms and risks and for ensuring rights, safety, and well-being. Under the Down to Zero Alliance, we have taken initiatives, Youth Voice for Changes, where we work in 11 countries in Asia and Latin America. We work with the children and youth advocates to strengthen their communication advocacy skills. We promoted through peer-to-peer reflection, capacity building, empowerment, creation of communication materials, safe spaces, youth engagement and mobilization. We involved the children and youth in advocacy process in digital media. We promoted the participatory construction between young leaders, partners, and civil society. And finally, we promoted the social media campaigns. This is the step we followed to ensure the rights, safety, and well-being of the children. We started to formation of the committees, followed by creative interlearning laboratories, manifest consolidation, digital campaigns, local advocacy actions, and youth meeting, which is continuing process where they can share their thoughts and views reflected on this negative impacts of this digital platform.
Nurul, sorry to interrupt you, Nurul, but are you moving your slides? Because here on site...
This is the creative labs that we consider from
Excuse me,
this
Nurul, sorry for interrupting you
Nurul,
again.
can you hear us? Nurul, can you hear us? Yes, Nurul,
yes,
we can't seem to see if you're moving your screen or not.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear
Nurul,
you.
yes, can you hear us?
Yes, I am hearing two voices, one from you and another from...
Yeah, yes, Nurul, we can't seem to see if you're moving your slide or not. Are you moving your slide?
This slide?
Yes. Are you moving it?
Yes.
Is it... maybe you can reshare your screen for us?
You're not seeing this?
We are seeing a PowerPoint, but we cannot see it moving.
Yes.
Would it be okay if we just have your video? Just in the best interest of time. Yeah, because I think each speaker only has 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, like this. This is good. Thank you. Nurul, yes, please continue. Sorry about that.
Are you seeing this now?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we can see it now, Nurul. Yep. Thank you.
Sorry, technical problem. This is the step-by-step process. Sorry, I'm repeating the slide again. This is the step-by-step process to the RISE safety and well-being. While we have started from formation of committees, we started with 97 volunteers with 12 committees, followed by creative interlearning laboratory development. We have manifest the consolidation to standard their authenticity and creativity. We perform the digital campaign, local advocacy action, and finally the youth meeting.
Nurul, I think it's okay if we just continue with your video.
Bea, can you ask Nurul just to continue with the video and not the presentation?
Well, Nurul, maybe...
Yes.
Maybe we can just stick with the video, or okay, let's hope that this will stay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. This is the creative labs that we ensured for their reflection, creation, participation, and this has been effective for ensuring their safety and well-being. Along with this creation, participation, and reflection, we have worked with the skills transformation for the personal skills transformation as well as the social skills transformation. We worked on their creativity and reflective thinking, solid identity as the social and rights, recognition of safe environments, and high impact voices. As far as social skills transformation, we work on the promotion of safe environments, collective resilience, promoted collective resilience and identity among them. We established the governance system among them. And finally, we inclusion of diversity and inclusion. And through this process, within the overall of this process, we have ensured their rights, safety, and well-being. The major achievement that we identified our initiative that more than 200 social and media products produced with these initiatives, more than 150 technical human rights digital campaign by the youth, more than 6,000 followers we identified with our digital platform. A series of videos were developed to regional exchanges, 5 digital campaigns, national advocacy and youth meetings was developed. And one video received the Hugo Blizzard awarded from the Dutch organization in July 2022. Major learning that we've identified that they were the young people who were the first to learn about the rights and how to stand up on them. We understand the use of social media is an important tool, and where the young people can express their views easily. And the youth learners learn to set up and promote the campaigns and draw attention to sexual exploitation. Through blogs, photography, and videos, the message, and they shared this was the positive, created the positive impact in the society. This is the advocacy
Sorry
lobbying
to
initiative.
interrupt, Nurul. Could you please start wrapping up the presentation in the next 2 minutes? Thanks.
Yes. This is the advocacy lobbying initiatives that we understood. One is we conducted, and another is potential. Under the advocacy lobby initiatives, we conducted the cross-border child trafficking involving Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Dhaka Declaration, which was the reform existing law on policy on child trafficking and sexual exploitation, National Plan of Action on sex in Bangladesh, a 5-pillar dialogues in the Philippines to safeguard children involved in the judicial process. In Thailand, the Senate approved the draft of the Child Online Protection Law. For upcoming LA lobbying advocacy initiative, we can
Hi, Nurul. I'm so sorry to do this again,
this
but in the best interest of time, we will be moving on to our next agenda, and just to let the online participants know as well, I'll be handing over to
thank
Ankita.
you. Just how to be safe and online, including the comprehensive education and child-friendly features. And finally, the children privacy protection and safe online improvement can be considered for the government. This was another agenda which can become for improve online platforms, accountability and monitoring process.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Finally,
much. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Great. All right. So now we will start with the panel discussion. Can you share the presentation on the screen? Yeah. So for the panel discussion, we have four policy questions. And the first question is, in what ways can multi-stakeholder partnerships be leveraged to develop comprehensive strategies for empowering marginalized youth and ensuring their equitable access to digital resources and protections? I would like Felicia from the remote speakers to answer this question. And Bea, please can you make sure that they will only have 3 to 4 minutes to answer this question as we are running behind schedule. So can we have the Zoom screen?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you guys too.
So,
Before that, can we share the Slido as well? So while these speakers are talking, we can just keep going.
Yes. Yeah. Felicia, you can begin. Thank you.
All right, am I audible? Okay. First of all, please keep in mind that I'll be answering the first policy question in my capacity as a CYIGF, Southeast Asia yIGF member. So I'm trying to keep it short to answer the first policy questions. First of all, we need to address the digital challenges happening in our home countries. For example, in Philippines, digital literacy is still an issue and a highly important program to be taken into consideration. Well, we are aware of the fact that some people still lack formal education, and that might be some sort of intimidation issue when they enter into the internet governance community. So to minimize this problem, we are here to support and encourage educational institutions to equip young people with the knowledge of digital literacy. So in short, education is an essential support. Similar to that in East Timor or Timor-Leste, AI or anything related to technology development is often not included in formal education or some sort of curriculum or syllabus, which we think this might affect young people in navigating digital landscape. We believe that including AI materials in a syllabus is highly suggested to educate young people. And since young people will become the next generation, we would like to point out that the role of educators are important and essential because educators are meant to teach and educate them about the use of innovative technology. Once this goal is achieved, we believe that young people will become creative and innovative in maximizing and utilizing the use of technology. Second, we need to create a space where governments, private sectors, and young people can interact and share their insight in an equal manner. For example, creating a forum is a good way and convenient way to invite young people in a policy-making process. In support of this suggestion, it is still an issue for the governments to view young people as a consumer rather than equal, in particularly in Indonesia. And therefore, we believe that establishing an open and inclusive dialogue between governments and young people is considered essential in a way that this discussion may potentially break their barriers. And lastly, support from multi-stakeholders for young people is highly suggested. For example, supporting young people in the form of fund is beneficial in a way they can contribute to the society regionally and even globally. So logically speaking, without fund and trust from the multi-stakeholders, this might influence their creative ideas for a project in a digital space. So to conclude my remark, education, especially digital literacy, open and inclusive dialogue, as well as support from the multi-stakeholders are ways to empower marginalized youth and create equitable access to digital resources and protection. I think that's all from me. I pass the floor to the moderators.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Felicia, for that. Now we will go to our next policy question, and I would like to ask Boris for this. Like, how can we tailor existing child digital rights frameworks to address the unique challenges faced by the youth in the Asia Pacific region? Boris, can you keep your answer to the point and please share your views with us? Thank you.
Yes, of course. So the key problem that we've seen in Asia is that within the education system, education is very traditional. So that we can see that a lot of the new education of new technologies such as AI, like Web3 technologies, they all lie with the hands of third-party like providers. So in Hong Kong, like where I live, a lot of this provision comes from edtech companies which provide this education, and the child-specific frameworks are driven by the government, aim to incorporate this in outside of school hours. So there's still a lot of lack of provision for a lot of underprivileged areas, and specifically for the Asia Pacific area, where we have a lot of inequity and a lot of underprivileged children. These children do not have access to the technology, although we do not suffer as much from the digital divide. And to tailor the current frameworks to suit children more, what we have to do is focus on partnerships between the government, the private sector, and also educational institutions to ensure that all of these teaching means are integrated together within schools. And this is what a lot of the local organizations such as One Power are aiming to do through ensuring that STEM education is more inclusive. And furthermore, what we've done at the DTC is that we've engaged with other countries. So we've engaged with an organization called Encode Justice in the US to acquire educational materials on internet governance related topics such as AI, equity, child safety online. And what we've done is share these technologies locally to grassroots organizations. And through this, we have them working with schools in order to create a holistic change within the Hong Kong ecosystem. And yeah, I'll keep it short because we're lacking time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Boris. I would also like to address the same question to Ananda, who has joined us as an offline speaker. So, here's So I will repeat the policy question for you. How can we tailor existing child digital rights framework to address the unique challenges faced by the youth in the Asia Pacific region?
So thank you so much, Gita, for the question. So I'd start this another way. When we talk about safety, we might talk it all day long because it is a very broad topic. So I'll take another approach. How do we ensure safety in digital age, and what are our roles? It is not only me or what efforts we are doing, but like it is being bombarded. I think we need to stop it. So this is what happens, this is also part of safety. So all young people in this room, in the morning also we attend that we are digital natives. We grew up with growing internet. And when there are opportunities, we bring them with many challenges. The major thing is how do we engage with every stakeholder within our country, beyond that, and make internet safer, more accessible, more affordable. Because before getting access, there is a challenge of access itself. In many communities, still internet access is a problem. Access is important for that. And when we get the access, human rights are then important. Like when I beginning days of internet security and safety was no problem, because there was a very less chances people will attack on it, or like whatever, no harms, but with the billions of people joining, I think half of the internet users were onboarded in the last 5 years. So that is where problems started arising, and it is evolving every day. And now I think the global internet connection, IoTs are like 3 times the global population. We are around 7 to 8 billion people. I think we have more than 21 billion IoT devices connected to the internet. Now our smartphone is connected, fridge is connected, I think shoes will be connected. We are like hyper connected now. And this is why safety matters. And our children's, starting from the day to the end of the life, and COVID pushed it a lot, from school to everything. Now online is another way. We were discussing this morning that ChatGPT has been the medium to solve the assignments, and that is the level we are reaching. We don't know what we will see in upcoming 2 years or 5 years. The pace of the development is very fast. 5 years ago I couldn't imagine that generative AI would be this much progress. So the basic things are, we need to know what we teach our children's. Not only at school, we need to include digital safety in the school curriculum. It starts at home. This is can we stop this?
While we stopping this, I don't think we need to like over sanitize it, because if it's out there, and we have agency to uphold the things to remove other criticism that is unconstructive. And I think
Yeah.
this is the whole point of having this app, because we can all have an opinion, and I think this is a space for us to voice our opinion. So I prefer not to.
Yeah, like it makes sense. This is the whole thing. We talk about human rights. Everybody should have freedom of expression, and then like this is how freedom of expression goes at some extent.
Maybe it was just the right without the responsibility, because I don't think this is very
Yeah,
constructive.
exactly. Like Luke said, right? Rights comes with responsibility. That is what we need to teach. Like TikTok was banned in Nepal, I think 2-3 months back, in the name of decency. So like banning the TikTok doesn't solve the decency problem. because we have to teach people how to be decent in digital world as well. And I think digital world is just the reflection of whatever we have on the offline. If I am not good on my mind, I will reflect that everywhere. Digital platforms are just the mediums, how we behave, how we do. So while we are so much immersed into this digital ecosystem, this is about basic ethics and what we teach. That is what I believe. And if we start taking care of these things from home to school, then I think safety would be there. And another thing is how regulators look at it. So it is not only like regulators, so that's why we call it multi-stakeholder approach. So everybody has a stake on it. Parents have a stake on it. We as a elder brother, elder sister, we have stake on it. Nation has it as a policy, and then like law enforcement agencies and internet service providers, everybody has a equal stake to make internet accessible, safe, more affordable. I'd like to stop here and we can continue the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ananda. We will shift to the next policy question, and after that we will take the questions from the Slido. And I would like to address this question to Ahita and Wingting here. So, in what ways can regional collaborations among Asia-Pacific countries enhance efforts to combat CSAM and gender-based violence online, particularly ensuring youth are actively involved in these initiatives? Thank you.
Right. Thanks a lot for the question and for this opportunity to speak today. There are a couple of points coming in online, right? And I just wanted to also highlight the fact that even though it's not a very targeted, it's targeted to the session overall, right? And that is something that mentally for me, there was a tick. I was like, what is this? Why is it bothering me? So things like this, young kids who've just started off and just step into, their internet could be their second home. They come back from school, they feel like they want to relax on the internet or Twitter or Instagram. And for that, words like this, the kind of content they're getting exposed to, right? And the kind of content they are also uploading, knowingly, unknowingly, sharing misinformation, maybe part of a cyberbullying, this thing. So all of these things impact people. And that's why this kind of regulation, having a safe space, having correct set of norms and procedures at a national level, at a school level, all of this is extremely important. That given the gist, I also wanted to highlight the fact that young people, there was another point about young people being a key stakeholder. I think young people definitely have to be one of the critical stakeholders, but we also have to realize that when you look at business, private sector, government, civil society, advocacy groups, all of these young people are present. So across each stakeholder group, you see a young person. So the type of requirements could be linguistically different, culturally different backgrounds, professional differences, from different nations. All of these requirements are very different and unique to each young person. So we have to have mechanisms to cater to these requirements, right? That said, now that we are looking at, and I'm coming from yIGF India and having worked with young people in my country, which I think our average age of the country is actually very low. That means that most of the population are young people. One of the issues that everybody talks about is cybersecurity. The other we talk about is meaningful access and connectivity. And the third one is around governance of emerging technology, and happy to realize that these were the three pillars in the earlier sessions also that were being discussed. So when you look at cybersecurity, you have challenges of deepfake, revenge porn, child pornography. You have issues of cyberbullying, cyber harassment, among misinformation, disinformation that I've mentioned. So what is it that we can do as a country, as an individual, or as as a continent, right? That will help that these kind of challenges are mitigated. So when we look at the Asia Pacific region, I feel like these are three issues like deepfakes, child pornography. These are areas where there's a significant overlap, and all the countries agree that this is something that should not be present in their countries, right? So for the safety and well-being of children online. In that case, I think something that's really important is to have youth impact assessment, the impact of the technology or the platform on the young people. This kind of assessment could be a survey, it could be a process to understand how are young people interacting with these technologies and what they think is the right and the wrong aspect of it. Then comes in, of course, your institutional mechanisms, your legal frameworks, your enforcements. From my perspective and my observation, I see that even though there's a law in place, in India we have something called POSCO, which is Prevention of Sexual Harassment of Children. We also, in the Information Technology Act, we have mention of how to deal with data of young kids. And there's also recent digital data protection bill act that came out, which is yet to be enforced, which talks about consent of data related to children, right? So even though there are legal frameworks, the challenge comes in enforcement. How are we enforcing it, right? So that's why a multi-stakeholder setting ensures that the voices of young people, because young people, we have our concerns, we have our experiences that has to be brought to the central table. In addition to that, the government and the private sector need to sit together to understand how do they want to implement mechanisms on the platforms, for example, algorithmic moderation, right, of the content. And what is it that the government can do which benefits all the stakeholders and enforces the right set of policies and procedures to make sure that young people feel safe and less vulnerable online. Yeah, I think that those are my points. Thanks.
Thank you, Heta. And Wing, can you share your inputs with us?
So
Thank you.
I'm waiting from Taiwan in Tokyo. So, so I think we all believe that young people do have something to speak in the digital society, but I think there are some kind of misunderstanding or that young people are not single person. It's kind of a huge generation that people who are native to maybe Web 1.0 or native to 2.0, people are from different backgrounds, different countries, people from like low connectivity or people with a lot of devices. It's kind of a huge spectrum. So I think that it's hard to include all the people at the same time, but maybe we can have some, and also it's like Asia Pacific, we do have that kind of diversity. So it's also hard for people to participate. Like people in Taiwan, we felt before that yIGF is not really working before, and we try to build it up again. But that kind of process, it leads us to the conclusion or something that like that. The discussion, the effort we put into it, it holds some externality that the effort we spent it's partially contribute to our kind of success or our interest, but it's also beneficial to others. So I think it's interesting, or it's important to make that kind of externalities be transformed to some extent to people's career or people's to create incentives for young people to participate. To save some time, I think I can stop here and look at the Q&A.
All right, thank you, Wei Ting. And just like to open up the floor if there are any questions regarding anything that the speakers have shared so far.
Can we first ask the online participants?
Right, online or on-site if there are any questions.
Bea, do you have any questions for the online participants?
If not,
I
because
believe most of it is in Slido.
all right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so then I'd just like to wrap up by asking the on-site or online speakers if you have any recommendations in terms of like concrete steps that can be taken to ensure youth across the Asia-Pacific region do have the digital resources and protections to help them sort of navigate the internet in a more holistic way. It's open to any of the speakers if this question you'd like to answer it. Yep,
Yeah.
sure.
Or like we can take some points from the audience and then like we wrap up.
Yeah, if anyone from the audience would like to answer as well, it's okay.
Yeah, it's like we don't. I think we don't have much time for the open floor.
Yeah.
Are we okay to just open the floor?
Yes.
Yeah, we can open the
Yes,
floor.
you
if-
can.
yeah.
We have this Slido back as well, because I
Oh.
think that's like not everyone get a chance to speak. I think one of the top thing is like whether it's possible to engage children's. I think this is like something been talking about in the past 2 years extensively, both regionally and globally. I mean, regionally there's this dynamic coalitions on teens. You know, all the nuances. Youth is just like generalizing, and then now by definition in that space it's like 18 to 35. They're youth. That's kind of interesting, right? And then there's a time when we talk about online safety or all those issues, and it's like a big difference to between like youth that's like over 18 or legal age and the ones that are underage, right? I think there is way to engage. In fact, in our room, there's someone underage, age of 12, in our room. But I don't want to put them in spot, because the parent did not explicitly consent to do it, and unless they're okay to start up and engage, I think we could do that. Because you guys are totally youth initiative, and also you all volunteer. So that's why when earlier, like someone criticized like the effort, I feel like this is somewhat disrespect with any youth leaders who volunteer their time to do this, just to enable a platform for conversation. And kudos to those who try to enable and engage children's, because it's just hard. Like as someone who's been dealing with like a program for 6 years, there's like different liability. And there's like legitimate legals consideration, for example, when you bring someone to in different countries for an event like this. So it's just very hard. And of course, like resources and all will limit how you can handle different age groups. So it's all that. And I am actually the head coordinator of this event. I'm telling you that except the local hosts supporting this venue and also sponsoring 14 people's rooms to be here, all these people are coming here at their own cost, or the organization. Asia supported them to be here, but we're running this at no cost. So I just want to put out that here, I am verbally telling you that I'm very angry about what was mentioned, but I hope that we need to work with respect to all the things so that we can stay focused on the issues we want to discuss. And I'm glad like not much like adults in this room, because we literally demonstrate how unconstructive we are, and that's why we are stuck at the kids table and not invited to the adult table to solve the problems together, because we are not prepared and mature enough to actually make conversation or even put our ideas and thought together. So that's my 2 cents, and I'll stop here.
Thank you, Jenna. We will have an open floor now, and we can discuss the questions we have on the Slido, or if anyone has any other questions. Do we have any questions? Okay, then we can begin with the Slido. So, do you think it would be possible to engage children to be able to participate in the discussion we are having? I think. Okay, we have erased that. Alright, sorry. So next question. What do you think will be the biggest contribution of the youth, often referred to as digital natives, to the internet governance? Aetha, would you like to take this question?
I think this is, since it's an open flow, I'll be happy if somebody else, I can see a lot of the colleagues who would like to answer.
Yeah, we have someone, yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to go back to the question about young people and just give you an example. As an older person in this room, probably the oldest, what I want to share is what we found really effective is young people talking to young people and actually sharing what they're experiencing and what they recommend without feeling some intimidation. So leveraging this youth forum, and what we've done in the past is created clusters with schools, primary schools and secondary schools, because the age gap is little. And the primary school kids, when they're in clusters of three schools, it kind of builds a momentum and sort of the competingness in saying something constructive. And the secondary schools actually can take that information and digest it. So think about how you could leverage that kind of model in your own environment to not only get the information that you want to give to them on safety and security and privacy, but also the other way around. What are they? Who's chasing them online? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ahita wants to say also wants to share something with all of us. So for the best practices question.
Yeah, I just
so,
thought this is something that I'll be happy to talk about a little bit. I'll keep it very, very crisp. Something from yIGF India's perspective, right? We've been running the initiative for the last 7 years. This is the 7th edition. There are a couple of things that we learn. First thing is they're the haves and have-nots of the technology, right? So people who are attending the annual forums, the deliberations and discussions are people who have access to technology, see the impact or are eager to learn, right? The people who are also eager to learn maybe see the impact but don't have access, right? It gets very difficult to connect with them. So one main thing that we have learned is that collaborations and partnerships work. Recently, we had a cyber hygiene workshop in the northeastern part of India where connectivity is a challenge. And we were able to execute that for young girls through the Women in Tech initiative, Women in Tech Northeast chapter. The second thing I've learned is that young people find, even though we are extremely talented, we're very eager to learn, we are hesitant to speak, right? And when open consultations or discussions happen by the Indian government or the private sector in my region, there is a hesitancy because we feel like we might not know enough or we don't know what stage the discussion is happening. So that's why we've realized that having 101 sessions like Internet Governance 101, Cybersecurity 101, these sessions build confidence in young people to understand where are we already in terms of the discussion, what are the policies, what are the technology developments, so that they bridge that gap and then they are in a position to go and speak and voice themselves. That's it.
Thank you so much, Ahita.
Can I talk? Yes, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. So this is Gilbert from Philippines, and I am an educator for 5 years already. So I'm teaching college students, and I would like to answer that first question. Do you think it would be possible to engage, to be able to participate in the discussion we're having? On my perspective, I think yes, we can actually engage children to be able to participate in the discussion we're having, but then in a context that they will understand the topic. Because I believe, like in the Philippines, I'm not so sure with the other countries, but in the Philippines, when I was younger, I was told by the parents to do this, to do that. So in other words, teaching the right manners, right conduct. So same goes with the digital world. We need to teach children digital manners, digital citizenship. Because if we don't teach children on how to participate, or on how to behave, specifically online, or digital world, I mean, they will be like someone else they would be a distractor or they will be a destroyer or something. As early as they could actually understand what we mean by digital citizenship, digital manners, I think we could elevate and we could somehow solve the problems, specifically for children, in terms of protecting and have a safety environment. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just want to add quickly, I think in this room we have consensus, and then we all like pretty supportive into engaging younger people, even younger people like students, to be included in discussion. So to tie it back to your request about like what's the strategies we want to include in our plan, I think it's like I would say like this is like something we should focus on, and with all the youth leaders in the room, perhaps also different communities will have different will face different challenges, and perhaps like working at the local level at this stage is the one that will help us to make progress most effectively, and also perhaps like collaborating with organization with actual outreach and resources. That's like how we leverage connections to make some progress and hopefully change to include the voice. And I'll see if Elia has like anything to add to that point, or if like we want to like move on to another point, because I think we talk about that quite extensively as well.
I wanted to say something about the best practices. It's a practice that I've read about, and it could be doable. It has been done in some countries. So, for example, I think Spain did that first. All the NGOs that are focused on internet governance are created a youth council, and they discussed all the policy proposals that could be implemented regarding internet governance discussions, and they created like concise and well structured proposals on many different matters, and then went straightly to the government. And that happened because they created much power, because if you collaborate and if you create something big, I mean, all the NGOs of all the country gathered and created something concise. They went to the government and they took their input and put it to the governmental proposals. So it's a nice example. I don't know if it could be done to all the countries, but it's a nice idea to as a base, and then put more details and do any changes. That was my point. It's a proposal.
It's linked to the PPP. Thank you so much, Elia. Also, Kenneth, do you want to share something with us as you are heading the Hong Kong yIGF? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankita. So, yeah, I would just first of all double down on the partnership and stress on how important partnership is, because of like limited resources and how, as Jenna mentioned, like a lot of the resources that we are seeing right now is like voluntary, and there's like it relies on different parties across the sectors, like the private, the public, and the even third sector among themselves. They have to like support each other too. So I guess going back to the partnership is also about how to bring other partners that are unexplored, and so and also enlarge the pool of community, not just focus on, let's say, internet governance, but are there any lateral organizations that might be possible to add on to the insights and perspective into the discussion, or even better, help to enrich the discussion and the theme itself. And on enlarging the pool, it's also about program sustainability. How can the program itself run year on year? I think one thing that is very crucial is to point the participants where they can go and what's next for them. The feasibility, carrying the hands, pointing them to the next directions, and empowering them in the program, saying what are the inputs and the discussion here, where it will lead to, having a very specific pathway for them to encourage them to speak their interests, as well as to partner with other community. Because I think because if we are to increase their exposure or surface area, they will eventually find their own way and other opportunity, not only just to follow a pathway, but along the pathway there will be more opportunities for them to engage and look at other things. And the last thing that I want to add is on the theme of internet governance is a little bit technical. And I guess one thing that we have to discuss is how can we break down the barriers? How can we encourage others to involve without getting scared at the first place? I guess for us here in this room already, we can think of ways to essentially do a better storytelling, how to break down those technical terms through, like, let's say gamify workshops, or having digest, bite-sized information for use, or even research initiatives that is for youth and with a youth perspective. I think these bite-sized initiatives would eventually help the ecosystem and to break down the barriers for program sustainability and partnerships eventually.
Thank you so much, Kenneth.
Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thank you. So I'm giving up, this is the last session, right? For the Youth IGF today.
No, we went, yes.
Okay. So you guys are here. I'm very thankful to see this much of people coming from different countries. So What is important is what I have believed. It's been a while I've been into this space. The thing is, digital safety or whatever, it is not a rocket science, you know, like we can do it if we have passion, but like getting things localized is more important. What we do is we do have youth initiatives within our country. Mihita does it in India, we do it in Nepal, and we do it in broader scale as well. The thing is, until unless you start discussing about these issues in your localized manner, you don't get the solutions, because what works in India doesn't work in Nepal, or like within Nepal what works in Kathmandu does not work in outside of Kathmandu. So like, how do we engage? And it is after we get localized things, we can find localized solutions. That is what I believe. Whenever this much of people are here, and it is not like everybody can solve every problem. And there's issues of connectivity. Coming to this room is like getting to know about the issues, what are the things being done in different parts of world. Like you have come to the like use IGF, now you can explore what IGF is doing. There are like dynamic coalition, there is a teen dynamic coalition, there is digital safety dynamic coalition, and you can also access resources. Like if you are trying to do digital safety things, maybe Internet Society is doing some funding activities, ISOC Foundation might be giving some funding. So like this is how you pull resources, learn from each other, and like do your own initiatives. That will bring what we call digital resilience, you know, like being a digital citizen. As we are growing, we need to have communities that actually discuss these issues on your localized communities. That's where you get the solutions. It's not like one fits all. So that is my takeaway, that is my experience actually. Until and unless you start doing things locally, nothing is gonna work. Like so you have to start something that really you are passionate about. It might be digital safety, it might be digital inclusion, it might be digital connectivity. Build a community network. You start how to build a community network, you will find like 10 resources. If you don't, there are experts all around the room. So that is what we gather here and discuss about. Thank you.
I want to piggyback quickly, and also we need to wrap up because the moderator just nudged us on Ananda's points on finding your own interests, and then just like to find people similar to you and start some passion project. Unfortunately, we all like started some working groups voluntarily, not getting paid, spending so much time on it and never really get out. Kenneth and myself started like a volunteer research group trying to like get some tangible output so that we can actually make contribution, because you guys asked what's the biggest contribution, except for like selling the point that we're digital natives, we can actually like tell you the first hands of how is it like to become someone who born to the internet kind of thing. We need to translate them into like tangible things. So there are many viable way, depends on your community. And I mean, in our area, we think that we should do research even though it's immature. And then that will inform us when we do the discourse on internet governance. And putting my other hat on, I am program directors of the Net Mission Academy, which we do like capacity reading, as well as like trying to do more policy advocacy. I guess, you know, there's like many youth leaders doing different kinds of youth initiative in this room, at this event, you know, try to explore opportunity to actually collaborate. And I know that the Asia Pacific yIGF, along with the steering committee, trying to put together like a 3-year plan and see how we can have, you know, encourage more communication between different youth initiatives so that Asia Pacific as like a region can be stronger. Because when you talk about global level, we are super underrepresented, and because our region is big, right? So I guess like we'll have to like continue with all the discussion, utilizing a WhatsApp group chat perhaps, and then right now we'll rely on the organizing committee and steering committee to carry that, because and finalize and see what exactly we can do, because I know in that document there's a lot of like concrete suggestions on how we take actions on what we identify as important and what we face as challenges, you know. So it's like not something we could do in just 1 hour. And I will stop here and pass it over to you.
And I think that just brings us to the end of this session, and we'll just have one quick picture, a group picture. Samir, could you? Thank you. maybe. Could we show the Zoom room? Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, can we have the online speakers to turn on their cameras as well? And maybe some of our friends here online as well can turn on their cameras if they can.
Yeah, from Samir. So everyone look at Samir. Right, one.
Let us know.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is it okay, Samir?
Yeah, it's fine. We can do one video also.
Sure, sure.
Another video. Can we do something else besides yIGF 2024? Maybe what? Youth engagement, youth power. What can we say? What do we say?
Youth engagement works, yeah.
That's too long, isn't
Yeah,
it?
we can do that, I think.
Okay.
So
You guys,
on-
can on-site team do that?
On
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Youth engagement!
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. To the online speakers for our next session. Thank you so much for being here. I see that your camera's on. Priksha, thank you for being here. Diksha, will you be able to turn on your camera? And as well as, I believe he was here. Oh, Koi's here already. Great, I see you as well, Koi. Thank you so much. On-site team, are we complete there as well for our next?
Yes, we're complete.
Great. We'll have to check as well if in Islamabad is our guest speaker there as well.
Yes, we have our guest speaker.
Great. Hi, Tayaba. Thank you for joining.
Hi, how are you? Happy to be here.
Great. Thank you. All right. I guess we'll pass it back to the on-site team.
May I have the PowerPoint? Okay, so that was one intense discussion, but next let's go back to the meetup with industry experts. So the format of this session, I will be giving you a brief introduction for 5 minutes, and then afterwards you, the online, the local hubs, and the on-site team will be breaking out into groups.
Nat, can we introduce the on-site participants also? Isaac
Yes.
is here. Yeah.
Yes. We will. So later on, maybe go back. So later on, we'll be introducing the speakers, and you will all be assigned. You will all go to one speaker. So for the introduction, just a brief overview. You might have seen them in the info kit already, but if not, I'll just give a very quick one. So in the digital age, so we have the internet, which serves as a vital hub for a global connection. But then there are also a lot of risks into it. So this session aims to delve into the widespread challenges of misinformation and disinformation within the digital realm. So we will confront the challenges posed by the spread of false information and rise of deepfakes, which in my breakout group, we were talking about it a while ago. And so we will convene misinformation and media literacy experts along with youth organizations, policymakers, and educators. Through the interactive discussion with guest speakers, participants will uncover and debate effective strategies to combat the tide of misinformation and disinformations. So I would like you to meet our on-site speakers first. So first we have Alban Kwan, CSC Digital Branding Services. Alban, he's over here. Next off, we have Isaac Liu. He's a tech policy analyst. He's over here. Then we have Noelle Francesca de Guzman. She's over there at the end. She's from ISAC. And last but not the least, for our on-site, we have Sarah Pasha. So some of you may have met her in JPAC. She's in Engage Media. Okay, so next off, we have our online and local hubs. So For our online, we have Kazim Rizvi, founder of the Dialogue. So I'm not sure right now, but he will be here later. Is he here?
Don't see him in the call right now, Nat.
Okay, so he might come later. So next one, maybe go back to the PowerPoint. So we have Diksha Raut. She's an advocacy lead of Surf Smart program, World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. So can we go back to the Zoom? She's over there. Okay, next one we have, it's okay, let's just go back to the Zoom. So next one, we have Kohei Kurihara. He's a co-founder of Privacy by Design. And then lastly, we have Priksha Malhotra. She's from ISOC, Early Career and Asian Dispatch. And then for our Islamabad local hub, we have Tayaba Iftrihar. She's an online safety expert. Okay, maybe go back to the Zoom now. Sorry, the PowerPoint. Okay. So you guys in the breakout room, you will be discussing these policy questions. As AI become more sophisticated in generating synthetic content, what policies should be in place to manage and mitigate the risks associated with deepfakes? The second one would be, what measures can be taken to protect democratic processes and elections from the influence of misinformation campaigns? And lastly, what strategies and initiatives can be employed to enable the general public to recognize and resist misinformation, particularly during electoral campaigns? So we'd like to ask the speakers to engage the participants, the people in your breakout group, by asking questions. And we'd also like to remind you that each speaker has 20 minutes within that breakout group to discuss. And then after 20 minutes, you the speakers, will change to another breakout group and discuss again. So that means for on-site, once you're done, you will move physically to another breakout group. And then for the online, Bey and Sacheta will help move the speakers from one breakout group to another. And then for the Islamabad local hub, we have Tayaba with them for the duration of the 40 minutes. So since for the on-site, since we have 4 speakers, may we request the 4 speakers to stand up and go to the different parts of the room. Maybe Noel can stay here. Stay here so that there are 4 corners. And then you guys, the participants, can go up and then join one of them. And then for Bey and Sacheta, you guys will make the breakout groups.
Yeah, we were just hoping to maybe just have one room, or 2 rooms rather, one for the local hub in Islamabad and one where we have 3 online speakers.
Okay.
It will be easier logistically. Yeah. Thank you. So let us know, Nataya, when we can break out already, or should we be moving them already?
Also, for all the participants, please split equally. We have 4 speakers. So, yeah, so more or less will be equal. And separate, don't stick with your friends so you get to meet other people. There's a lot of us, and we have one day.
Okay. I suppose now that the on-site team are doing their thing, us online, let's do our thing now. I will need to let everyone in one group, and then it's going to also be separate as Amanda will be sharing her experiences with the Islamabad local hub, and we'll have around 35, 40 minutes.
So for speaker and participant, feel free to touch on. Can we switch it back? Yeah. Here, there we go. The PowerPoint slide. So whether you're a speaker or participant, feel free to ask each other any questions, because the whole point of the session is to make conversation, and then hopefully you will learn from each other. Because even seniors can learn from the young ones, right? And so the whole, well, that's a term they use. I guess like I accidentally slipped it the other year, and they have been like using it the whole time. But more experience, expert, we call it expert. But no, yes. So make conversation, and then later switch groups, because 20-minute making like a single conversation with one person is like quite a lot, 20 minutes. So switch group as you wish. But yeah, that's it for me.
So we have these policy questions, and you will be discussing about them, and also something else that you want to discuss about with the participants. And after 20 minutes, we'll switch the breakout group.
So it's just a discussion. Is there an output of some sort?
No, this is just a discussion
Okay.
with the participants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do
So
this.
you all can
Okay,
sit
guys.
and have a discussion.
Okay. Let's form a circle. How? Wait. Okay. Let me move the chair here and then
Shall we just?
There's the first question on AI, so deepfake, right? So deepfakes has been considered by many organizations, including the World Economic Forum, as one of the biggest risks. UNICEF also recognizes it as a big risk for youth when it comes to misinformation. And part of the reason for this is first there's youth in general are seen to be more susceptible to misinformation and disinformation. And some of these reports emphasize that just because we are so youth, doesn't necessarily translate to youth having more knowledge about, or doesn't translate necessarily to the ability to distinguish between what is factual and what is not a deep fake or is a deep fake. So my first, I would like to break this down a little bit. When it comes to, so in agencies, there's quite a few policies now that tackle misinformation and hate news. What are your impressions on these policies? Do they work? Are they proportional, for example? Initial impressions that you have, especially for those who have had, whose countries have enacted. So there's Singapore. I know Indonesia also has a kind of fake news. Philippines, I think, also tackles information. Any initial impressions on whether these policies are simplify. Do they help or do they not help? I think it's a great start. Banks work from them. So I see these policies as limitations. Could you expound on that? Limitations to the spread. Yes, I see. Okay. Are there any countries here that already is tackling deep fake? They're asking by the Internal and Europe there is a legislation called Policeman Services Act. Exactly because of the large
say something, or if you're suspicious of something, they inspect the situation, but I don't know exactly what that is. Yeah. So, I think Elliot, you noted it was based on a takedown. So a lot of policies right now focus on takedown. If the Digital Services Act focuses not on taking down, despite there being a takedown element, but on transparency, so on procedures. A lot of the focus of the PSA is on algorithm transparency, because when you talk about misinformation, a lot of the damage that is caused by misinformation and disinformation happens when a lot of people see it. Yeah, and algorithms have a big role to play in this, because effectively these platforms are curating content, and the algorithms, many of the algorithms that we know are based on, and it's a business model that is grounded on generating ad revenue. So the focus is on amplifying content, and content that that is easily, that, how to say, algorithms at the moment are designed to amplify content that are emotive but not necessarily factual. So emotive, the content that generates engagement, for example, that generates a lot of emotion, a lot of reaction, a lot of likes, or whatever emojis you can put on a post. They don't necessarily promote factual information. So one challenge with deepfakes is it's becoming harder and harder to tell what is a deepfake and what's not. So this goes to the general direction of AI, wherein what are the guardrails that you put in developing, artificial intelligence, so that there are some mechanisms to be able to distinguish between what is real and what is not real. For example, watermarks in images. So this is very early days. When it comes to policies that are already in place, there are concerns. So as we know, the full extent of human rights are also applicable to young people. We have a right to freedom of expression, freedom of information, freedom of privacy. One of the challenges that's been raised by human rights experts is a lot of the laws that are meant to tackle misinformation and disinformation come from countries and from governments that do not have the credibility to be able to enforce that properly. So a lot of the laws have been used, for example, to prosecute journalists, to say, no, you're trying to destroy my government, you are wrong, and you should go to prison. So that has happened in a lot of places. It has also been used to discredit the truth. So keep in mind that governments have a lot of resources on their hands. They have a lot of resources. In the Philippines, the government has sponsored trolls, to discredit political opponents. And they can also silence alternative sources of truth. So they can silence media. So my question to you is, do you trust your government to tell you what is true and what is not? No. Okay. Then
actually raining here, so probably it's true. But then there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation can be subjective. It can be subjective. So if you look at satire, for example, comedy is a form of misinformation, right? It's not necessarily true. Sometimes it skews the truth. But how harmful is it? Is it harmful or not? So I suppose before we go into setting policies for AI and deepfakes, maybe it's worth us also thinking about are the policies that are currently in place, do they actually work? And is the government the one that's best addressed, best positioned to be, to take the lead in us tackling? Have you encountered a deepfake? Like, who here has encountered or are aware that you've encountered a deepfake in your, in your social media? Yes? What kind of deepfake?
5 minutes and then I will.
How do you know that?
Feedback form.
You can check the differences.
Wait, I'll do after.
Right. Okay. Who else? Somebody else raise their hand. Yes.
Hi, just a reminder, for the speakers, you have 5 minutes left before you move to another group. This is for the on-site team.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. sorry. I can't move that fast. Yeah. Okay. So, there are we've seen deepfakes. It's not that. Have you seen? There seems to. I haven't seen this myself, but there was. It seems that there's like a video of Greta Thunberg. I believe things were like vegan moms or vegan weddings or something. Yeah. Okay. So, with that context, what do you think? What kind of policies? No, let's not go there. Do we need policies? Do we need government to act to prevent the spread of deepfakes? Yes. What kind of action would that take? Would that be?
pause. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, time's up. May I request the speakers to move to another group?
Sorry, who wants to give you a chance to speak? Yes.
Is everyone okay? We'll have the speakers to move counterclockwise. Yes, the speakers. Once you're done with Isaac, sorry, after no, after you're done, you and Isaac exchange.
Okay. Sorry. So you raise an important point because we have to remember that children and youth also have agency. So we shouldn't assume that everything is easy to control with them because if we raise their awareness, they can have agency. They also have a right to exercise their freedom of expression, right? Their freedom of speech. And if we rely on just policies that restrict everything, we must also be careful that we do not unnecessarily restrict children's rights to receive information, for example. And that has been one of the so a lot of the platforms already have some form of parental control. The main criticism for that by child experts is that there, if you, depending on how you exercise it, there can be like whitelisting, for example, where you just have a list of what your children can access. It can actually restrict their ability to critically think about, what the information that, or to seek information that can actually, expand their knowledge base. Yeah, so good point raised, and I suppose the one takeaway that I would like to emphasize is that policy doesn't just have to restrict, it can also enable. So when we think about government policies, doesn't just have to be detection and takedown. It can also mean, maybe sponsoring, not sponsoring, but encouraging the incorporation of media literacy, of information literacy. That is also a policy, but it has a different effect. Thank you very much. Thank you for and good luck with the rest of the so who is your next? Sorry, I just ended and interrupted you. Okay, let's go.
I got a warning letter.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, actually.
Hello guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it like a fire round, right? Just open up anything, right? Whether you want to ask this question or any other thing. Yeah, so I lead a coalition, an industry coalition for SMEs, small and medium enterprises across Asia Pacific, right? Excluding China. That's a whole new beast. Okay, and we help them to basically understand about public policy. What are the public policies the digital economy, and how can they contribute as a feedback mechanism to their various governments, right? So usually what we face in terms of being an SME, a small business, is when the rules are implemented, when the laws are implemented, you just accept it, right? You have no resources to change it. You don't have money to hire a government relations guy or advocacy guy to just push through for you. So we are trying to change the conversation because governments around the world are speaking to small and medium enterprises. They need them for innovation, they need them for jobs, right? But they just don't have the time to speak to 1,001 SMEs, right? So this is where we form this coalition to help them really crystallize what they're thinking, because sometimes they can be very reactionary, right? I'm just trying to keep the light on for my business. So we help them to dig a little bit further, understand how does, for example, data privacy affect them, like the right to forget, for example, right? And what are the business implications, stuff like that. Yes, sorry. Right. Ooh, okay, this is dicey. So what strategies do I take to go against the big boys, right? Honestly, that is not, how do I put it? That is not the equation that we see. Usually it's us convincing the government, right? Because ultimately, whether or not you want to go against the big boys, you never know, right? On some things you are aligned. For example, you want a free market. Right? If you're SME and you choose not to have a free market, it's up to you, right? Especially for Singaporean folks. We are a tiny country, you're not going to expand anymore, right? So in this element, we are not competing with it. Other things we are competing with, I think that, for example, when we have a new innovation, right? They can know like, oh, we don't have the scale. Like now I'm going to bounce you off the road and you can take over the project. These are where we need the government support, right? So we don't see ourselves as competing in terms of getting our voice across, but we just want to be part of the decision-making process where we sit down with government and say, look, these are what we face, and they are practical steps to get to where we want. Plus, there are real implications, right? So you want to talk about creating jobs. Amazon itself is creating 1,000 jobs, 10,000 jobs, right? But collectively as SMEs, we contribute 70% of the workforce. Not everybody can work for Amazon, right? So good luck if you try to kick us out of the room. So I hope that answers the question.
I think there's something going on
Oh, plenty. Okay, I know the lines are weird now with unicorns, people with $100 million investment account, and they're like, yeah, I'm a startup, yeah, sure. Right? I think you're talking about SMEs in terms of guys that don't intend to go crazy. Doesn't look as if as that $200 million in the bank account, right? They're in multiple countries, they have healthy revenue, and they don't intend to go global. Right. Whereas a unicorn is not like a $1 billion valuation. Let's go crazy. Let's make a crazy super app. Yeah, I guess, yeah. And also the track record. Right?
which is
Yeah. So when you talk about track record, you are like, let's say 10 years in the business, 5 years in the business. You can't call yourself a startup anymore. Right? Maybe the first 2 years are really too, but anything after the 2 years, you are really just a small firm. Right? Unless you've expanded, then that's a different valuation, that's a different policy. If you don't have the intent, you won't raise the valuation. That's when you I mean, they graduate into the SME experience. Yeah. But for a startup, usually they are, how to say, they are blessed with the idea of a sandbox, all these different rules of the game, right, temporarily, until they pass their mark, the government goes like, hey, you have been taking a lot of funding, you have been having critical mass, it's time for you. Sorry, am I speaking very fast? Tsunami of misinformation, right? These states can be created anytime, but the real question is how do you get people to identify the real? If you are focused on these are what is real, anything else that is outside the box automatically is fake, right? Or misinformation or disinformation, right? So the question is how do you get education to success? Right? So you participating in this, for example, gain more literacy, right? But not all your peers have the same opportunity, right? Sit in the room and learn about it. Plus, if you are going to a new culture, right? So one example I give you is, I know I might know how to use the web, I think I know what is real, what is fake, but when I come to Taiwan and you introduce me and I surf the net, how do I know that what the news say is real, right?
I think that social media help combat these fakes. For example, I have a really specific case in my head. Some months ago, some ethnic Melbourne posted like a video of their speaking to the camera, and there was a huge wave of interaction on TikTok because someone noticed that it's not the real hair, it's a deep fake. And I was so excited seeing this because it looks so realistic. And someone somewhere realized some very specific elements that tends to be made that understand that it's a deep fake, and then everyone understood it's a deep fake. So social media can really help combat this type of
A population of, for example, Singapore is tiny, right? You have 3 million residents in the rest of the country. But even then, there's still of guys that think they know what they're doing versus guys that really know what they're doing. Now, these guys can try to educate these guys, but the question is, are they really? Until they get scammed, right? And your bank account goes zero. Then you're like, hey, somebody help me. Digital literacy is very important in my life, right? Otherwise, you did so many national campaigns, right? The government literally pay people, like if you finish this like digital literacy exercise, which takes less than 2 hours, they pay you 2 hours. Great, right? You spend 2 hours just chill in the aircon room, and then you feel like a monopoly drink, but people don't. The uncle goes there and say like, yeah, maybe you just tell me how to do the lottery. Download the app for me so I can come and buy my gambling stuff way quicker. Right? So I don't know. And then there are people who are sheep, wolf in sheep's clothing, right? They just cut down there waiting for revenue. The more you educate, the more refine your skills are. So thank you Singapore for doing this education campaign. Now I know how to fake people, or scam people in other countries, in Indonesia for example. Right? And it's crazy, we got so many islands. They can't do the same level of education. Yeah, it's tough. One, when we advocate, let me give you a very concrete example in Vietnam. Vietnam has this thing called one is for data localization, the other one covers the obstacles cybersecurity.
We have 5 minutes left.
I can assure you, if one of their kids get into trouble like that, then they go like, yeah, I believe you. There's no, honestly, there's no silver bullet. Because like, today as an SME owner, I create a business, I do my business properly, and let's say I get caught out breaking the law. All I have to do is I close this business down, I pay the fine or whatever, and the business is starting again. And I do the exact same thing. Right? That's a very real fact checking and verification to get them to be responsible.
What do you guys think of? Because
Empathy and communication, right? So what we are trying to do is really personalize the
this has
story.
been cited before, but not, this is not like the whole complete truth. Yes, there is a tendency for the young generation to share indiscriminately. Like, oh, I don't care. I'll just share it. Looks interesting? Yeah, share it. But what if there is more awareness on what that sharing can do on the impact that misinformation has? I don't know how, but I don't know how youth would be able to, young people would be able to react when they know that this almost as real
I just have to
harm
follow a rule book,
if
right?
you
And
share
then
that.
that's about it.
I actually think it's the other way around. I think it's like young people actually do impact
It's just going to give you more work.
a lot of, I think about like from Facebook,
I'm struggling every day.
like see something that says,
Sorry, I don't have a better answer for that, but yes.
so he thinks that you can have an abortion out of a baby born, and then that was broken.
We have 1 minute left. Please wrap up soon.
But the thing is that we can look at that. That is objectively untrue, but they don't know that. So I think that they don't, older people actually don't have that understanding that we've developed
I'll
over
just share an
time.
experience. In Singapore specifically, we live far. So what we do is we target fake news, the materials itself. So they don't care what platform or individual or whatever you are doing, as long as you are posting something that is authentic, they can use the law against you. Right? Yeah. So if let's say you put out a fake news, I choose to continue that fake news, like a WhatsApp chain messaging, good luck to you. Everybody gets it, right? Especially him, right? But there's another way of regulating across the borders in Malaysia. What they do is they do a content licensing. So if he is a social media channel, right, or he's a social media influencer, he needs to get a license. Now, some critics against the system is saying that, hey,
Okay, guys, time's up.
but I think you have to balance it between political expediency, how convenient, how easy it is to implement
For the speakers, please wrap up soon.
Easiest way to explain. Hope that was helpful. Sorry if I went too fast. Yeah, you can just drop me an email or whatever. I send Jenna my yeah, I thought it was a bad thing. So oh wow, this is
We're wrapping this up, right? 40-minute passes.
Yes.
we should ask something more questions. No, I just make it
Can it?
no, it's not like that's
He wants also wanted to present something for the loop also.
Are we wrapping this up or?
Yes, we're wrapping it up. Wait, Anchita was saying something. Ankita said something.
I guess they talk too much.
So, Kenneth in Islamabad, right?
Yeah. So first we will have the Islamabad.
Is there like some new statement that what we have to do? Yeah, so.
Okay, guys, wrap up now. So, for our next portion, we're going to have a short and brief presentation by Islamabad, and then followed by Kenneth. Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong. From Hong Kong, yIGF. So may we switch back to Zoom?
Can we have the Zoom screen? Can we have the Zoom
May
screen?
we have the Zoom screen?
Can we have the Zoom screen?
May we have the view of Islamabad local hub?
Maybe we can start with Kenneth because they're still in the breakout.
While waiting for the local hub in the breakout room, may we start with Kenneth? Oh, no, no,
Can we get everyone's attention
Please, can you
and
come
do
in
the
the
presentation like a couple of minutes because we still have things to do.
Do you want to do it now? They want you to do it right?
Now?
Yeah, maybe a minute.
Behind the podium or just do it here? Shit.
Because we want to send you the summary of our statement first. Yeah. Okay. Did you have an email that I can? Okay, because we will want to show something. Would that be okay? But
Hello.
we need to send this send one document to you. Would that be an email that you can upload here? And I can
Guys, can we sit, please? We have more session forward, so if we can sit and
Let me just share to the online team that we were cut off and we were informed by our on-site team that we'll be having to wrap up. But on-site team, please let me give a shout out to our online experts who were with us today. They did such an amazing job to sharing their thoughts and their opinions on these questions that were provided for us. We had a great discussion, and we hope you guys there on site also had great discussions too.
Yes, yes, Bea, we did. Thank you so much. Can we have a round of applause for all the speakers for the meetup with industry experts? Thank you. Yeah. So now we will have a brief presentation by Kenneth from Hong Kong Youth IGF, and then we will have a brief presentation by Islamabad Local Hub. So can we please begin? Yeah. Kenneth, so you have 2 to 3 minutes to present. So you can start now. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So this is basically we have organized a Hong Kong Youth Internet Governance Forum last month, and then after the forum we have created a youth statement following the forum, and this is what we have come up to, and this is a summary, and I'll let our fellow representative Donna, Natalie, and Anne to present the result and share some insight about our forum, which is entitled Prompting a Smart Digital Economy, which smart, what does smart basically mean, would be explained by our fellow representative.
Hi, so I think as many of you guys already know, my name is Donna. I think I've been speaking a lot throughout the day. Please remember me, I'm kidding. But anyway, today we'll be kind of showing you guys a blueprint of what is expected to basically come out of this entire conference. So the Hong Kong Youth Collective Statement is based off of the idea of SMART. So I feel like a lot of us have heard of this, which is quite different from SMART goals. SMART, when it comes to digital governance, talks about a sustainable, multi-stakeholder, and accountable, a resilient, and a trusted digital economy. So based on these terms and the ideas behind this, we kind of basically compiled call to actions. So we looked for stakeholders, current issues, and what we feel like these stakeholders could work on and improve. And then we basically just compiled a bunch of them. But since there's too many, we're just gonna read some of them. Maybe you can go first, Natalie. For sustainability.
So thanks, Donna. So I would like to read out what we got for the sustainable part. So to realize a sustainable digital economy, we call on the government to prioritize the expanding infrastructure with the implementation of subsidized high-speed internal access to the undeserved area, as well as digital literacy programs for the elderly and the marginalized more effectively. So I will pass on to Anne to read out the multi-stakeholders.
So to realize a multi-stakeholder digital economy, we can call on the government to bridge the gap of digital literacy through public, private, and school partnership. This could include the further expanding of existing digital equity program, such as school funding to technology subsidize and distribution, as well as we can also lengthen such scheme. The government can also utilize different government and educational institution program to encourage youth in taking part in NGOs or NPO in addressing the elderly in technology education problem by promoting intergenerational tech tutoring program like the Hong Kong Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Fund.
Yeah, so for to realize an accountable digital economy, we call on the governments, regulation, and regulatory bodies to enforce robust data protections laws that ensures transparency in data collection and usage. This will empower individuals, restore trust in digital platforms, and safeguard digital privacy. I pass to Donna for the rest.
The reason why we're kind of reading off of this document is because there's actually many of us who worked on this document together. So that's why I feel like we all have to synthesize our ideas later on. So I guess maybe if we do present them, we're going to present them in the same way. And I work specifically on resilience. So basically, there was a cyber attack on one of a cryptocurrency firms in Hong Kong. That's why my call to action for digital internet resilience was for cybersecurity firms in the private sector to kind of enforce more robust, internationally aligned cybersecurity standards for Hong Kong in order to safeguard the digital infrastructure and kind of protect people's data. And lastly, the last of SMART, which is trust in digital economies. So we realized that maybe we definitely need a government to implement a more powerful cybersecurity system by upgrading the system. As we've kind of discussed earlier in one of the small discussions that we've had, many governments have outdated systems when it comes to tracking or protecting people's data and privacy. That's why this is also one of the reasons why this is our call to action for the government. So basically, to wrap all of this up, number one, we need to be very specific about the stakeholders that we're going to call for action. And secondly, we also have to have a really broad perspective on what kind of actions these stakeholders can make. As the youth, we definitely have a lot of ideas. So I guess we're kind of looking forward to seeing everyone's collective statements and the collective statements that we're going to be forming later on. This is just from the perspective of Hong Kong. That's why some of them might be first world problems that nobody really might care about. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. May we go back to the Zoom for Islamabad?
Yes, Annie, is the Islamabad team ready to share their youth policy statement?
So we are ready. Actually, we have 4 participants who would be representing the policy statement. So over to our first representative, that is Abir Nisar. Please go ahead. Hi, this is Abir. So my main focus theme is security and trust. So internet is our classroom, our playground, and our workplace. So internet is a place where everyone should have the chance to learn safely and chance to express ideas freely and regardless of the gender, and to have a chance to succeed. So, however, inclusivity remains a significant challenge in the digital age, especially if we talk about female journalists. They are often the targets of online harassment and threats, which not only endangers their safety, but also undermines the principles of free and independent journalism. So I think to address this issue, what internet governance can do is prioritize the safety of female journalists by implementing strong deterrents on social media platforms to hold offenders accountable. And by protecting these journalists, it is essential because not just it ensures their well-being, but it also ensures that our digital places remain inclusive, equitable, and conducive to the free flow of ideas. That's it. I will pass it to Fatima.
Hi, this is Fatima, and my focus area is ethical governance of emerging technologies. So I've got 2 concerns. The first one is regarding AI accuracy and accountability. So most of the times AI is not sure if it's giving the correct information or not. For example, you can easily convince it that some wrong information is correct. So if we start using AI in medical fields and it makes some faulty scans, and gives the wrong output, then who will be responsible for the consequences? Now, my second concern is regarding responsible content creation and mindfulness in algorithm. So in my opinion, if algorithm can create catchy stuff to keep people hooked, it can also determine the nature of the user so as to protect people from the content that they are sensitive enough not to tolerate. So in nutshell, backend processes need to be refined to make sure that internet is safe and inclusive for all. That's it.
Over to the next representative, that is Ali. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ali, and my topic is curing truth in the age of information overload. Through my research, I came to a conclusion that there is a need to educate people about cybersecurity and the need for digital literacy among the masses. Hence, our group's discussion led us to recommend that governments should promote digital literacy, especially in Pakistan, about the potential risks associated with the dangers of the internet. In my opinion, government should also introduce public awareness programs to stop the spreading of misinformation and promote a healthy, safer environment in the internet for everyone. To mitigate disinformation and misinformation, I also believe that, and to mitigate the use of deepfakes, I also believe that the government should take measures and hire independent organizations to ensure that these are not used maliciously and are used for the correct purposes, so they keep the internet a healthy, friendly environment for everyone.
That's all from our side. Thank you everyone for listening to us. Oh, actually, no, we have one participant left. That is Zainab Nisar, and she will be focusing on access issues of the internet. Please, Zainab, go ahead.
Hi, this is Zainab from Empowering Access Group. And I would like to highlight from our team discussion that there should be availability of broadband connections to undeserved areas and at the affordable prices to eliminate the digital divide. And I think we can also use international cooperation and funding to bridge the digital divide. Secondly, from what my group has discussed, internet should be made accessible for marginalized people, such as visually impaired people or people with other disabilities. And lastly, I would like to add that by fostering independent media, supporting digital literacy, and ensuring the net neutrality, we can create a more equitable and open digital ecosystem. Thank you.
Actually, if we have time, and if the participant wants to present, I just want your permission. If that's okay, then we can present it.
Is it a PowerPoint? We don't have the time anymore to share a PPT if that's the case. But please feel free to add that into our youth policy statement document, all right? If that's okay, as we, for the sake of time. Is that okay?
Already done. Already done.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much to our Islamabad local hub. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone.
Hello. Okay. Thank you for your presentations, and also thank you to all the speakers, both on-site, online, and in the local hub, for your time and for sharing the knowledge to the participants. So for the next slide, may we go back to the PowerPoint? Yes. So we will have a way forward and closing remarks, in which Jenna will help us.
I'll just do it very quickly because we are running out of time. Can you help me with the PowerPoint slide? You probably know, right? I hope you guys enjoyed today's sessions. Usually yIGF is it's like a 3-day event, but this year we get to do it in like a really quick way, only 1 day. But then this is like one of the most important thing. We must keep it for whichever duration we are doing, because in here we try to include information that can help you to choose your path and navigate in the IG space, because there's like people who might be more interested in doing like capacity reading, engaging local hubs, not local hubs, sorry, I keep talking about local hubs, local community. And there are people who might want to actually be more involved in many of this like internet governance organization,
we didn't get to touch on it too much. As I said, many of the elements we don't really get to touch on it. But if you go to netmission.asia, we have many of the available materials we can find, and if you search up these organizations, you can probably do it yourself. I think since 9 a.m. in the morning we talked about education, and I think one takeaway is that we can do our own research and educate ourselves, and then there are times you can also do some learnings there. And apparently yIGF is just a really small corner of internet governance, this entire internet governance ecosystem. But I do believe many changes start from here, because that's where all the new beginners, newcomers come from. So we'll also send this PowerPoint slide to you guys, so you can probably refer to it. But perhaps I would quickly give you guys an overview of different timelines or opportunity or events that you guys can get involved. There are times that, of course, there's different conferences, and then they have. I may as well just sit down so that you guys can see the PowerPoint slide better. And there's different conferences coming up, and many of this opportunity involves either programs for university students or its fellowship. So you guys can search it up online, or make use of the links we provide and information, because our remote team will drop the link in the chat later today, so that you guys can access pretty quickly. But I guess for the youth to start with, it's easy. The easiest way is to start with ICANN and perhaps yIGF, because right now you're at the regional youth IGF, and then tomorrow and the next couple of days you will join the regional IGF. So we are essentially already on that path for Internet Governance Forum. And so we can certainly explore further, and there's no particular right way for what you need to do. And so it just let you guys explore. But on the other hand, it's pretty common for newcomers to first engage in ICANN, because we have a pretty robust community in our regions. And for those speakers who is somewhat involved in our conversation this morning or this afternoon, many of them are pretty active in the ICANN spaces. And so if you're interested, you can talk pretty much even though if themselves are not expert in that area, they could probably point you to some other people who can speak for it, and you can probably learn more from them as well. And I mean, we are at the APRIGF, and there are times, to engage in something else. It's not like we must be the organizer of something else, right? There's different form of engagement. Staying informed is one of the way. And so if you just want to keep yourself updated, you can subscribe to mailing lists, keep yourself updated, and learn from learning from those information. And at some point when you have the capacity, or if your interests actually, if it's resonate with you, then you can probably do some more. Because at APRIGF, we there's different way, because some fellows or some people in this room actually is involved in the drafting committee for this synthesis document, because in the IGF space, everything is open for everyone, and as soon as you want to volunteer to be involved, you are welcome to do it. I think that's why I always said I have a mixed feeling about voluntary opportunity, because on one hand we don't get compensated, but on the other hand we also actually have access to many of the opportunity that we traditionally may not get the opportunity, because if people look into education background, which not everyone has access to the same level of resources, right? So then now I think in this space it's somewhat equal in a sense, because we mostly get the opportunity, and at least we all have access to it. Can we skip to the other ones? And if you are already doing something at a national level, local level, there's different organization that actually provides support. Because I think earlier when we were doing this APEC Youth Leaders Dialogue, we identified resources is a big constraint. And I also mentioned that even we have such high attendance here, we also face financial challenges as a youth initiative.
running at something as really minimal budget, for example. And I can imagine there are times when like a national youth initiative might have some other challenges as well. So these are the opportunities you can explore, because they do support youth IGF as well. I think Hong Kong Youth IGF was like one of the most recent cases who actually like try to get fundings from those organizations to make their own YGF happen. So if I don't want to put Kenneth on spot, but if you want to explore and learn more about the experience, maybe we can talk to him. Resources for learning. ISOC, ICANN, APNIC, they have like on Academy. Just try to explore it, see if there's like anything that you want to learn, and then just make use of it because it's free. And then fellowships and programs. I guess if you think you're ready to partake in discussion and want to actually make influence of the policies, and try to apply for fellowship and join the discussion, because now we're the youth in our youth room. But if you really get the opportunity to be out there, engaged with different stakeholders, then you somehow representing the youth community here, and perhaps you can bring some insights that we discuss in this closed room, and then perhaps that will inform those discussions as well. Maybe not always the case, but you know, it's always good to take advantage of this kind of available opportunity to go outside and then see how much you can influence, because if you don't go out, then we're not making any progress. So if you think you're ready to have, you know, higher level of engagement, highly encourage you to explore these things. And I'm pretty sure many of the fellows around, they were either APNIC fellows before, or ICANN fellows, or next gen. I'm throwing out a lot of like terms or acronyms here, which makes no sense to any of you because we didn't really introduce them. But if you talk with the youth leaders and all that, you probably can learn slightly more about what are these all about. And lastly, we try to keep it low profile, although we've been the ones speaking the whole time. So now this event's basically supported and happened because we have the ambassadors from that mission, which was supported by .Asia. It's a youth initiative where this is like one of the events that mission deal with, but we also do online academy. It's an initiative organized by youth for youth. We started this initiative in 2009. As like something we want to provide capacity building to young people in Asia Pacific about internet governance. And as we grow and also our network gets bigger, we now try to do policy advocacy. And this graph is like too complicated, I know, but then this is the ecosystem we try to build. Because luckily with the support of .Asia, NetMission get to have a staff member here to work with a lot of different volunteers. So I am when they have like great ideas, when they want to do other than their times at work or at schools, and I try to facilitate that and make it available and accessible for young peoples in our region. So essentially we have like the academy, which we are now recruiting, not now, but it will start recruiting a new ambassador in September. So if you think that you want to learn more about internet governance and do not think these conversations are too long and boring, you can probably apply and learn more, because I personally love this really nerdy conversation. And I was actually a NetMission ambassador myself. And I think that helps me get a job and be employed for now. And I'm happy to serve everyone right here. And it starts from this academy, and now with all the youth, we build this ecosystem together. And with the support of many partners, ambassadors get to go out to organize events like this, or represent youth, at least their organization, to attend the global IGF, the APR IGF, or even go to ICANN or some other events. But we also have like a lot of like ongoing working groups where they try to experiment because they love making videos, and they try to make reels on Instagram to inform people and tell more people about internet governance. Apparently, we did not beat the algorithm because it's so hard, but that's what some people who love exploring digital content do. But there are people who love writing, and so they do blog posts, or myself and Kenneth love doing research. At least we tried, and so we started the Asia Pacific Policy Observatory, where we try to do research that informs our other engagement. Now we try to also be more active in doing our submission to different public consultation. But with all these ideas, without youth, we can't really do it. And so there's like opportunity where you can get involved. Because right now, Asia Pacific Policy Observatory, if you want to do research, and you can apply, because we still calling for contributor and editors. And if you guys want to learn more about it, you can find me too, and Kenneth, and so we can talk a little bit more about it. But another promotion, and I will wrap this up, is we try to keep people informed, because I think at least now you're here and you're aware of what's internet governance, and we hope that you would stay informed about what's going on there. And I think the lowest commitment and easiest way is to subscribe to our newsletter and to receive our, we try bi-weekly, we try to do like a tech policy roundup, and provide you some like information about what's going on around the world. I mean, mostly our own region, and also circulate different informations and opportunity from time to time. And so each month you will get some new information that might align with your own goal or priority at the time. And I think that's it. And I will stop here and pass it over to you.
Hello. Thank you so much, Jenna. Now we will have the closing remarks. Can you open? Can we have the presentation? Yes. Now we have the closing remarks, and I would like to invite Jenna and Charles to give the closing remarks. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Hello everyone, thanks Jenna, and dear all the in-person, online, and on local hub yIGF fellows. And I'm Jin Hen Gu, I'm the director of TWNIC, and I represent as the local host. And as we come to the close of this year's the Asia Pacific Youth Internet Governance Forum, I'm honored to stand here. Appreciation all wonderful speakers and fellows providing discussion and invaluable insight today. And especially a big thanks for the Secretariat and the Program Committee, the mission, and the many volunteers for bringing us many wonderful discussion topics. And I also want to express my deepest gratitude to all of you, the participants, the speakers, organizers, and the partners, and who have made this forum a success. And your dedication to this critical issue, your passion for positive change, and your commitment to building a safer, more inclusive digital future for our youth, and are truly inspiring. And let us carry the momentum from the yIGF 2024 forward, continuing to champion the right, safety, and the well-being of our youth in the digital world. And together we can ensure that the digital future is one where every young person is protected, empowered, and heard. And congratulations to today's forum, successful, complete success. And hope you all enjoy the wonderful time in Taipei. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Now I would like to invite Jenna to give the closing remarks.
I think I've talked too much already, but I just want to thank everyone for taking, just step out of your own comfort zone and be here and try to talk to strangers for I don't know how many hours on things that appear to be boring sometimes. I know it's like very hard, and there's a participant flying for like 26 hours and they just land this morning and they're here in this room and they're not falling asleep. And there are people who actually live in different time zone, which dealing with Jack, like myself included. And I just really want to, on a personal level, I really like to thank everyone for participating, and for making such an engaging conversation, despite we only have one day. And I would like to thank all the industry expert. Sorry, my brain's like literally shut down, so I need to be really articulate on the choice of word and not accidentally again to call someone's ageism kind of thing. They just got criticized. But I really like to thank all the experts from our community for joining us in our room. And I personally really like to thank TWNIC for supporting us, because it won't happen if local host is not giving us a room to gather up. And I just can't name all the organizations that I would like to thank. You can go to our website to see all the logos, because go there, pay some respect to it, because they don't really need to do it for us, right? We can't take it for granted, and I just want to stress that and point it out, because without them we can't have a full house like this. And this morning we don't even now, like, we don't have enough space, and this is like something that's do not usually happen. This is my 6 times doing youth IGF, and this is like one of the biggest one we have ever organized. And lastly, I would like to thank our remote team from NetVision, because you saw Luke this morning, and now Samir, Ankita, and Nat being on site doing this. But it is a collective work of more than 15 people working voluntarily in the past 4 months to make this happen. So I want to thank you all for that.
Hello, so I'll just make this fast. So we're going to have a debriefing and wrap up, and we really hope that you enjoyed and learned a lot about internet governance in this event. So from the basics to learning from the panel about empowering access, to brainstorming together on your ideas in the idea wall, in the 3 teams, and then listening to youth and the speakers in the dialogue. And then lastly, you had a mini get-together with industry experts. Also, lastly, we also got to learn how to stay engaged and what other events we can join after yIGF. So I will hand the floor to Ankita for the wrap-up and housekeeping.
Thank you, Nat. So these are some housekeeping rules for all of you. So first of all, it is important for all of you to attend the APR sessions if you want to attain the certificate. In the info kit, we have shared few sessions that you can attend, but you are not compulsorily to attend those sessions. You can attend the sessions which you are interested in. And then we have a welcome dinner planned for all of you, but the participants who registered for it on or before 11th of August on first come first serve basis can join us for dinner. The details have already been shared with you. And now Samir will just debrief you for the yIGF hurdles that we have on day 1 and day 0. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nat. Thank you, Ankita. Now, with respect to the huddle, you guys will be attending the APR IGF session as per the list which we have already shared, or as per your discretion, whichever session you would like to attend. But at the end of each day, day 1, day 2, we will be meeting as per the teams, the way we were doing the youth policy statement, so that we would be able to draft the youth policy statement, which will be merged with the synthesis document of APR IGF. So that is something which we have to do every day till day 2. So make sure you guys attend huddle every day in the same group so that you would be able to clearly demark the areas or the ideas which you have in a more holistic manner. Yeah. Yeah, we will share that with you, but usually it would be 6 to 6:55 from tomorrow and day after tomorrow, but we will coordinate with you on the WhatsApp group and share further details. Do you guys have any other questions on that? Or, yeah. Yeah, people get the confirmation. And any other question on the huddle? Jenna, would you like to add something?
Sorry, what's the question?
Nothing question. Would you like to add something like?
Okay. So for the huddles, for the huddles.
Also, sorry.
Bea, you have question. You have questions?
No, I know. I just like to add, but continue, Jenna. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So for the huddles, like on site, we'll meet at room 402 AB for 6 o'clock to 6:45. But I'm aware that we also have socials tomorrow, and some people got invited for other socials the day after tomorrow. And you know, attending this conference is not only about internet governance. You need to learn how to have fun too. So we just like do it quickly, efficiently, and so we can go and catch the bus. Okay. And so for the remote and local hubs, Bea and the remote team will send you guys a different Zoom link, and then they will do their debriefing and huddles as well. And that's about the yIGF huddles. As for dinner this afternoon, not afternoon, sorry, this evening, some people who register early enough, because I keep extending the registration deadline so that more people can come here. But you know, logistically, I cut off for some people, and some on-site here got the invitation to join this evening dinner. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you register. You can meet us somewhere close to the escalator, and then we'll walk to the restaurant together and have dinner. Yeah, but we'll also do the attendance like near the escalator, make sure you're on the list, because unfortunately there's like some capacity limitation at the restaurant, so we can only host 50 people, unfortunately. But you know, tomorrow we have like socials and all the stuff, so we get to meet again. And if you don't get to be attending this evening dinner, I think you're lucky, because Taipei is so fun. Go to somewhere with new friends or your friends and have fun. But I think that's all I want to add.
And one last thing, Ankita, can you change the
What
PPT, please?
What do you want?
Attendance for day 1 and day 2. Okay.
Okay, just one more thing for attendance for day 1, day 2, because someone also asked me about like what is this attendance about, right? Because there are people who want to receive a certificate from this event and prove that they partake in this, but also there are people who don't prioritize that as much, because like for example, like me, I value the people I met and the things I learned more than the PDF I would receive. So everyone's will have different priorities, and we have these certificate stream for people who want to get it, and for those people will have to take attendance, and so it's pretty strict. Today we took attendance in the morning and after lunch, and then for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow we will take attendance at the huddles, and on the last day we would also take attendance by the end of the day, but we'll send it in the WhatsApp group chat, so if you would like to cheat, I guess we have no way to verify, but that's the mechanics of the whole thing. And yeah, I think that's it about the attendance things. But is there anything you guys want to add, or we can pull up the QR code for the WhatsApp group chat a little bit more. If you are not in the group yet and would like to join, feel free to do so. And if you are afraid of like message bombarding a group chat, you can also avoid it. It's up to you. But I guess if you're in the group, try to follow the norms of how to, navigate a public space. And I hope we're not receiving 100 highs and good morning every single day. But no, I think that's it. Okay, I think dismiss. Thanks for joining.
That's it. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
We will
Thank
see
you
you
to our
tomorrow
local
then
hub.
at the huddle.
Yep.